Hi guys, and welcome back to our Pokemon VGC19 battle series. Today we are going to continue on with this Lunala Xerneas team that we played in the back end of last week. And firstly, before anything guys, I just need to give each and every one of you a huge shout out and a thank you, because we set a little target for ourselves last week. We set a little goal. If we could get 50 likes on each video from Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, then I said I would bring back double matches to the episode that we had so long ago, and we've been doing one battle per episode for the longest time. So we actually hit that goal, so I'm proud to announce that from today onwards and all the future we'll be doing 2 matches per episode. So thank you so much to each and every one of you for doing that. I can't wait to get back into it, but happy to announce that before we get into things today. As I say, we are running the Lunala team. It's paired with Xerneas, Smeagol, Incineroar, Toxicroak, and then the Tapu Lele, which we've already discussed in comment section in the past videos that we've done, that it might be the one thing that is a bit contradictory to the team, but hopefully going into this week it performs a little bit better and we can learn a bit more about why it's there. And also, if it doesn't work out, then maybe we look at different options. But as always, we'll kick into it right now. But before we do, make sure that you do leave a like on the video guys. As always, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel as well, because you will stay up to date with this battle series, our guides, our streams that we put up, and all the other content that we have coming out. We've got the Flinch Squad circuit kicking off as well very soon, so episodes of those will be kicking off next week. Lots of exciting things coming to the channel. So without further ado, let's get some music on and let's get the show started, I guess. So excited. We had a decent week last week. I think we had a few games which were a bit iffy, but it's all part and parcel of just learning the team. So let's get some music on first. What are we going to go for? Let's go with Elite Four. Let's go with that one today. And we've got our first opponent, so what better way to kick us into things than going straight over to our team preview screen. And we've got our first opponent playing a team of Xerneas, Groudon, Tapu Koko, Gengar, Incineroar and Amoonguss. So the big things that stand out to me straight away here are that Incineroar and the Gengar, they threaten Lunala very heavily. Gengar also threatens Xerneas very heavily, so we need to be able to deal with that quite well. We've got Smeagol, that's a very nice support for Lunala. It has the Fake Out ability, it has Follow Me as well, protects Lunala very well, also does a nice job at protecting Xerneas. So they're 2 nice options there. I don't know which one I kind of tend to want to go with first as a lead out. I'm leaning a bit more towards Xerneas, to be honest. We've got to be a bit careful with Smeagol, with that clear smog that it has access to that can take away our boosts, and also the Incineroar, which could potentially have Roar as well. So a little bit tricky, not the easiest thing to get around. I don't think I feel like I want to bring Toxicroak to this match, and maybe I don't really want to bring Tapu Lele either, although Tapu Lele can do a nice job against things like Gengar, things like Amoonguss as well. But we do have Lunala that can deal with Amoonguss quite nicely. I think the Incineroar is a bit awkward to deal with, especially because we haven't really got a clear way to deal with it, but we can rely on Xerneas if we can get those boosts up, and we don't necessarily need to go for those straight away. So that's team preview done. Let's get into our first battle of today. I've positioned the face cam as well down in this corner, so big shout out for the suggestion to that, because it was cutting off some of the imagery here in the video. So hopefully as we've went to a full screen, this kind of complements it a little bit better. But let me know in the comment section below guys. As always, we're going to lead off with our dynamic duo of Xerneas, Smeagol, and we'll see my opponent lead off with Gengar and Groudon. So an interesting lead for my opponent. We've got to be a little bit careful because the Groudon can carry Tectonic Rage, the Z move, which can do big damage to Xerneas. Also the Gengar does do a lot of damage as well. We can also see just a Precipice Blades here to get around any sort of Follow Me, but I kind of want to get the Geomancy off as soon as possible, so I could go Geomancy and then Follow Me, but we could take Precipice Blades at the same time, and also an attack from Gengar, which is likely to go for that Sludge Bomb, I would imagine, if nothing else here. So what are my options? I mean, one of the things I could do is switch in Incineroar, then the next turn we could potentially go for a Geomancy, but at the same time, if I do that, then we don't have access to Follow Me. We would have to take a Sludge Bomb. I'm going to go with Geomancy and just a Follow Me here to pull in all those attacks and hope my opponent goes for the Z move rather than the Precipice Blades, but I don't feel like, okay, that's fine, that's fine. We're going to see Groudon switch out. The thing is though, the problem is if there is a roll coming out this next turn. But if the Gengar goes for a Sludge Bomb, I'll just take Smeagol down to its Sash here. We are protecting Xerneas and just going for that standard Follow Me here. But we've got to worry about Groudon later on in the match. There's the Sludge Bomb. Now the thing here would be if we get poisoned. Hopefully we do not, so we don't go down this turn. That would be ideal, and we don't. So we are going to get this Geomancy up off our Xerneas, which is excellent. Thing is though, we do have to be a little bit cautious of the Roar the next turn. So I'm kind of tempted to go for a Follow Me again, but the thing is, if we go Follow Me, then the Gengar will be able to knock the Smeagol out with the Sludge Bomb, unless we get a speed boost here, which we don't. Unfortunately, our accuracy falling as well. Now the one thing that we could do is potentially switch into, I think I'm just going to go Dazzling Gleam, to be honest, and Follow Me. Because if my opponent goes Incineroar, goes Fake Out here, then yeah, this is a Fake Out into the Smeagol, so that's perfect. So it means that Xerneas is getting an attack off here. We'll get good damage onto the Incineroar. I don't feel like the Gengar is in a position now to take us down, even with a Z move. So there's just the Sludge Bomb. We hope that we avoid the poison. That would be the big thing here. No poison, excellent, which is great. Which is great news for us. So we can bring in our own Incineroar. I think is not a bad option here. What I want to do is just Dazzling Gleam again and Fake Out the Incineroar, but the other thing we could do is pivot out on that Incineroar, but we're probably better off faking out into it, to be honest. I don't mind if the Groudon wants to switch in here, but I think we're in a nice position just to do this. We'll take the Gengar down. The problem is my opponent could switch out their Incineroar, which I really think they do. They probably do, but as we Dazzling Gleam, we'll probably proc a berry on this Incineroar. Although it looks more like it is an Assault Vest variant. So with the Sun Up as well, we don't really want to just freely give them a turn to throw a potential Flare Blitz into our Xerneas. We want to try and keep it as healthy as possible. So we are going to see Incineroar switch out. So we could have U-turned on that slot, which we were saying, but at the same time we are going to be able to get some good damage onto Groudon and make sure that we're putting it in range for the next turn. We are going to get that Fake Out there, and let's see what kind of Groudon we're staring down at. Do pick up the knockout on Gengar, and it looks like quite... oh... that is not what we want, and the Curse Body ability activating on our Xerneas there, taking away our access to Dazzling Gleam. It's very unfortunate. And I will just throw out a big shout out to Davide, who said thank you for using Dazzling Gleam on last week's episode. So I do appreciate that. Thing is, now we've got the problem of potential Roar again, but I feel that we're not in a too bad position. I'm gonna just U-turn out on the Groudon, I think. Or do I bring in Lunala? I'm gonna bring in Lunala because I want to be able to cycle the Intimidate if I can later in the battle, and I don't want to just freely let Incineroar go down. We're not going to see a roll. We're just going to see Incineroar switch out for Xerneas, and my opponent trying to set up that board position now where we can potentially knock out the Groudon, and then bring in Incineroar to set up. But this allows us now to knock out the Groudon this next turn. Oh, we're going to see a Tectonic Rage come out. It's going to be probably into, I'd imagine, the Xerneas. But because we protected, we should be able to take this. We're about 55-60% health. I'll be sad if we go down to it, but it shows how... Oh, it's into the Lunala. We'll take this through Shadow Shield. Thank goodness we got the Shadow Shield, though. Last ditch. Oh, yeah, we take that comfortably. Comfortably. So we're in not a bad position now to go for a Psych Up with our Lunala and a Dazzling Gleam. Now my opponent... Oh, we can't go Dazzling Gleam, can we? So we have to go Moonblast into the Xerneas. Do I go Psych Up? That's the thing. I feel like I want to go Psych Up, but I don't want to allow the Groudon to go for the Precipice Blades. This is the thing, like it could Precipice Blades here, just knowing that it goes down, and I'm probably safer just Moongeist beaming into it. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. This path though does allow my... Okay, so we're not going to say any protects. The thing that I was worried about there was if the opposing Xerneas protected and then my opponent allowed his Groudon just to get knocked out, because then my opponent gets the Incineroar in next to the Xerneas, and then they've got the ability to set up the Geomancy. Even though we've still got a Z move on Lunala, so we could have went for that, we could have went for a Psych Up of our own, but it's fine, it's worked out alright. My opponent just not taking any sort of gambles there, and we're able to take down the Groudon and the Xerneas, and we're sitting happy for our first battle of the day, so that's really good. Just Incineroar staring down at us now, and I think we're going to be alright, to be honest. The sun has gone. I'm going to switch out Lunala just to get an Intimidate onto this Incineroar. I do feel like it is a Assault Vest, so it will be able to probably take this Moonblast, so we want to just reduce its attacking damage as best as possible, but my opponent just forfeits. So that is game one. Good game to my opponent, and we're off to a good start today. So we'll move on to game two, and hopefully it's as good as game one. I am really enjoying this team. I do like it a lot. I have to say though that it's just the Tapu Lele conundrum there that we need to kind of get around. I would suggest maybe Tapu Koko could be a good option in there, because it does help support Lunala, even though we do have Xerneas. But the other thing that I do think about a little bit is that it does conflict with Lovely Kiss on the Smeagol, whereas the Tapu Lele Psychic Terrain can switch it in and we can still utilize that Lovely Kiss. But for that only reason, I don't know whether it's really worth doing or not. So we've got Z as our next opponent from the United States, playing a team of Xerneas, Lunala, Incineroar, Amoonguss, Tapu Lele, and Venusaur. So a very similar build to ours. They haven't got the Smeagol, so whether that's a bonus for us and we want to bring that or not. I think the thing is, I probably do want to bring Smeagol here. I want to be able to have something to get around that Lunala's Moongeist Beams and Z moves, and the Follow Me with the Smeagol is really nice here. We've also got access to Fake Out as well, but we have to be a little bit careful because of the Psychic Terrain, of course. But the Follow Me there is very pivotal for us. I think Incineroar and Xerneas, so I think the same four will pretty much do us as well as we want. What are the other things that we're going to have to worry about? Amoonguss with its Sporing, but I think with Lunala of our own, we're not too bad, especially with Incineroar. We do have Smeagol that can outspeed it as well. We've got the Lovely Kiss there. The Xerneas, we've got our own Psych Up on Lunala to kind of put that off. We've got to be a bit cautious again around the Incineroar, but we can rely on our own Xerneas boosting up, and that's really our only method to dealing with it. But we just have to play a bit carefully around it. We've got our own Intimidate and things like that, so I feel pretty happy with bringing what I'm bringing. Toxicroak could be a decent option here, but again, it's going to struggle against Lunala, Tapu Lele if my opponent decides to go down that route with theirs. So without further ado, let's get out of this team preview and get into this next match of the day. So here we go. Good luck to my opponent, and also playing a very good restricted combination. I will say so myself. If I don't say so myself, I should say. So what are we going to see? Tapu Lele, Xerneas. Okay, that puts off my opponent with, well, nullifies any Fake Out support from our side with that Psychic Terrain that will get activated now. We do heavily threaten the Tapu Lele, and we can Psych Up the Xerneas as well if it decides to go for a... I think what I'm going to do is double target the Xerneas. Actually, should I or not? Yeah, I'm gonna go Moongeist Beam into the Tapu Lele here. It could be Scarf Tapu Lele. That's one thing we have to worry about. And I'm just gonna Lovely Kiss into the Xerneas. As it goes Geomancy, there's a Moonblast, it is Scarf Lele. Where's it going? Into Smeagol. Does my opponent just attack though? That would be interesting to see if they do. But if we can put the Xerneas to sleep, we'll get rid of the Tapu Lele, which is nice. A Dazzling Gleam just to break the Shadow Shield, which is fair enough. getting rid of Smeagol because it is a big threat. Xerneas Beam coming out will be into the Tapu Lele. We haven't wasted our Z move yet, so that's nice. I think what we can do next turn is potentially bring in our on Xerneas, so we've got the ability to boost up as well. With this Psychic Terrain supporting us, that might be quite nice. The other option is the Incineroar, but Incineroar is always a nice Pokemon to have in the back to switch in on Lunala in particular. Now my opponent brings in their Lunala, which is a little bit tricksy. Now we have... We could go for the Speed Tie here and go for the Z move. We've went for it before. It is very risky though. You've got to be 100% in your convictions here to say that we win this Speed Tie, because if we don't, then things could get very bad. Like we lose our Lunala, but we would get a Xerneas boosted up, because I feel like my opponent probably goes for the Geomancy on their Xerneas, and we would get rid of their Lunala, which is super nice. Really quite nice. Although we could just switch Incineroar in on this slot, and then we have we don't have Fake Out the next turn. I'm gonna go for the Menacing Moonrays, and I'm gonna go for the Geomancy as well before time runs out, and go for the risk. So we get the Geomancy. The tension, here we go. This could all go so wrong, because our Shadow Shield's broke, so we will go down to a Moongeist Beam. So it's all about the Speed Tie. I never really would recommend going for these Speed Ties, but at the same time we do get our Geomancy up, which is nice. Imposing. Xerneas is max speed as well, so we win the Speed Tie there. So can we win 2 Speed Ties? Come on, let's do it. We've got the better Lunala. Come on. Let's see. Oh, I can't take it. Come on, Lunala, please. We get it. We get it. Come on, guys. Oh man. I never recommend doing that. It's not good for the heart, and it's okay. Wow. What the heck have I just done? Have I just actually Z-moved into our own Xerneas? Oh, is this the most epic fail you have ever seen? I can't believe I've done that. That's the worst misclick in the history of misclicks. Shame. I'm not gonna not put this up though. I'm literally not gonna put this up. I can't believe I've just done that. I really can't. Okay. We have to knock off and Dazzle. That's our only way we can go. I don't know if we can win this now. We'll get the double up onto the Lunala, potentially. It probably is going to Tailwind here. And the knockoff will be able to pick up the Lunala here. It's going to go for the Z move though. So our Xerneas boosted will be able to take 2 Z moves. Oh my gosh. This is terrible. Literally. Terrible. Ooh, it's going into Incineroar. I guess it just wants to chip it, so it can probably knock Incineroar out with Xerneas the next turn. I mean, we don't deserve to win this really after that horrendous misclick. I can't believe it, honestly. I really can't believe it. So frustrating. Really frustrating. And Amoonguss is the last one. And now if you deal with Incineroar, I mean, there's not really much we can do. I mean, we can Flare Blitz and Dazzling Gleam. We have to Dazzling Gleam because of the Rage Powder. It's just going straight for a Moonblast. It'll be into Incineroar, I'd imagine. Yeah, I'll pick up the knockout here. Yeah. Oh. Most epic fail. And you guys can beat on me as much as you want for that. I can't believe I misclicked so badly. I've never misclicked that badly ever before. That is the most epic misclick of mishaps. Ugh. I'm getting so hyped because we actually targeted. We won the speed tie, or you would imagine the speed tie we won, and then for that to happen. And the opposing Lunala didn't even attack us either, so yeah, we lost against Z. So that is really sad because that hinges our kind of our run that we were having with the team. But in epic style, if we were ever going to do it and throw away a match, is a good example of how to do it and how not to do it at home. But I'm just going to say thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I'm so sorry that our first episode back with double episodes has ended like this, but we'll make sure that we're clicking the buttons. I might even move my DS because I've got a new light that's coming on. I'm not making excuses, but it does have a lot of glare on my DS screen where I've got it positioned. If I move it to the side here, it's not so bad, so I'll do it from here now on, so I can make sure I'm actually looking at what I'm doing. But thank you so much for tuning in. I'm gonna enjoy reading through the hilarious comments down below, and I deserve every single one of them, so don't hold back. I will just say that, and we'll see you for our next episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow for another episode of our VGC19 battle series. So until then, guys, take care of yourselves and bye bye.